That's good.
Okay. Comfortable with moving to that next step?
Okay.
Any
Do we,
concerns?
do we bid that out? Do we bid that?
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
The construction will be bid.
the construction will be better, yeah, we'll bid the construction over the winter. Usually you get your best prices, contractors are looking for work to start in the spring, and if we get it all done, spring, we can break ground. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else in your report?
No, sir, that's all I have.
Okay, questions? Next item is public safety criteria for gas pipeline. I was on vacation last week. I was noticing the news accounts of the explosions in Massachusetts, the natural gas line explosions, and although the utilities were all very quick to say that it was old equipment and that this couldn't possibly happen someplace else, I don't think anyone actually believes that. What's even scarier than seeing some of those pictures of those fires is the fact that the Public Utilities Commission does not count public safety as a criterion in determining where their pipelines are located. That's, I think, is a huge concern. I know that at least two communities I'm aware of, Blue Ash and the City of Cincinnati, have both drafted proposals that urge the legislature to do something about that and to include public safety as a criterion. I think I would like to introduce a motion to direct the law director to prepare a resolution supporting the idea that public safety should be a criteria in determining where pipelines are located.
Motion.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Give a second.
Greg, the language, I would guess, Blue Ash has already passed theirs, correct?
Yes, Blue Ash had, I believe Cincinnati has as
I
well.
believe Cincinnati had too. I
So
think
we'll-
we
we'll
could
craft
find some
something
language there.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second. Mr. Miller?
Mr. Connor.
Aye.
Mr. LaBarber.
Aye.
Mr. Weedman.
Thank you.
We'll have something prepared, Doug, I've got some sample stuff I'll get to
Okay,
you.
great.
Get that prepared for the next meeting. And do we have an update? We don't have any update on the public hearing, pipeline hearing process, do we? Last I heard, they were restarting the process, but now they've shifted to that alternate route as the primary route, and they're going, that's the way they're presenting their evidence.
Now, I've heard conflicting evidence on whether they had shifted it to the alternate route.
Have or haven't?
I've heard, the mayor of Reading says that they have. The last information I heard in regard to the site was
They're
that
still
they had
pushing
not,
through on the
that-
preferred.
That it is still, the orange route is still considered to be the primary route.
So,
I talked to the law director for Reading, and he wasn't aware of any official change, but I think everybody kind of feels like that certainly seems to be where their focus.
Yeah, their attention
has
is
been.
on the alternate route.
And I think
Yeah.
that's why the mayor feels like they're now looking at that as the primary route, but I don't think there's been any official change of that.
Yeah.
Is that because Duke has not changed their?
Yeah, they haven't
They haven't
changed
changed
their
anything,
their
yes.
paperwork at all.
In
for their
fact, there's
application.
not even a hearing, they haven't even set the next date. There was some talk about trying to force the move of the hearing back down here. I think it's gonna stay in Columbus. We're kind of in limbo right now with the whole thing.
I think if they change the primary to or the alternate to the primary, they may have a fear that the PUCO is gonna tell them you have to start the process over with the
Right.
hearings.
Or they could just go let the PUCO approve it with the condition of the alternate, and that could be the route they're trying to take.
I think it, clearly the focus has become the alternate, and they did make some minor changes to it, I think, to avoid the green fields that's in the Reading area.
And they did move it, I think, in the street in certain locations now instead of the front yards.
Okay. Number 8, Norton Sign Rental Agreement. Greg, you got this one?
Well, I'll let Doug handle this one, I think.
Yeah, we're pretty much ready to sign the agreement with Norton that increasing, or doubling the rent, actually, retroactive back to February. brought this up. One of the things I really just want to make the board aware of, in the original lease, when they remove the sign, they only have to take it down to ground level. That is in the lease, and from what I understand, that's kind of an industry standard. Now, they did say that they would be willing, because there's some structure within 4 feet of it, that they'd be willing to take it out, whatever's 4 feet down. But they're saying, well, you know, and it's in the lease, they only have to take it down what's above ground. So apparently that's an industry standard, and it probably, for whatever might go there in the future, provide more support than the ground anyway. So I just want to let you know that that's where we are on that. And other than that, if you want to pass a motion to approve Mr. Bickford signing the lease.
So I'll make a motion to allow Greg Bickford to sign the lease.
This sign is located at,
Pardon?
this sign is located where?
Montgomery Road.
Montgomery over by
Okay, so this is
the Taco Bell.
renewing the lease?
Pardon?
We're saying. we're
Renewing the lease.
What, we're not really
Well, we-
renewing.
We agreed on.
They
back in
sued,
February.
they sued us saying, the terms of the lease said, long story short, that we acquire it, they should have a perpetual lease. Went to court, the judge threw that out pretty quickly. Never went to trial, we got out on a summary judgment saying the lease doesn't say that. Court agreed with us, they went to the Court of Appeals. Court of Appeals agreed with us, they tried to get to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court wouldn't hear the case. So they'll take it down whenever you tell them to take it down, but the idea is, until we're ready to do something with it, we may as well make money off of it, so.
And they're
The
paying us
original
how much
lease-
money, how much money is
The
that?
original lease was, what they were paying was $1,000 a month, that would increase
Retroactive.
to February,
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
Okay, we have a motion.
Is it, by the way, is that a month to month?
Yes, I'm using the term lease, but it's a rental agreement. That they have, once we tell them to take it down, they have 30 days to get it down.
Motion?
We had a motion. We need a
Motion. Second.
We need a
Second.
Second. Any further discussion?
Mr. LaBarber,
Aye.
Mr. Connor.
Aye.
Mr. Reed.
Aye.
Zoning fee waiver request.
The board received information from a resident who replaced a fence without a permit and got caught on it. And there's a $100 fee when you, there's no fee for the permit initially, but if you do the work without a permit, there's a $100 fee. This resident is requesting the waiver of that fee. I think you all saw the information from this resident. And going through this, I'm looking at some of the information she puts forward. She goes back and forth between the county and the township. But one of the things that I question here, and I have not talked to her yet, I just wanted to talk to the board first. She talks about talking to Harry Holbert on a day when I know for a fact Harry Holbert was in a meeting with the FBI. So her statements in here are inaccurate. And then I talked to all the staff here. No one recalls a phone call from anybody asking about if a replaced fence needs a permit. So again, it's a he said, she said. I don't know what you guys want to do with it, if you want to waive the fee or not, that's totally up to you. But the information I'm seeing from her is not consistent with what I know to be fact.
So Eads did the fence, correct?
Eads did the fence, and
And
Eads knows. Eads knows, and as a matter of fact,
Certainly know that they gotta have a permit.
that's absolutely correct. So, I mean, there's information that contradicts kind of what she's saying here. So that's whatever the board so chooses to do, we'll do.
Are you saying that there's more information to be gathered, or you think you have everything that?
Well, I think the only information I need to gather is a statement from this individual saying, you know, you made some statements in here, but I know for a fact that these are not accurate, and I know these things couldn't have happened at the time you said they happened. So, other than me going to her saying that and getting a no, I called, it happens all the time. I called and talked to somebody and they told me this. Well, who was it? Well, I don't know, male, female. Can you tell me when you called? No, I called to somebody and they said this was the case. Again, this is a case where they said they called up here, and no one told me to need a permit. I'm highly suspect of that information. Unless a temporary person who doesn't work here answered the phone, that information wouldn't be given out that way.
The information she says she was told probably would not come from anybody on their staff.
I tend to believe it would not, because I know other people have been given the same information when they called, they've been given the correct information, so why would it be any different? We don't have temporary people answering the phones. There's only 1 of 6 people that'll answer the phone, and they all know how to handle the situation.
I think it would be good for you to have a conversation with her.
I'm happy to do that.
And then get back to us, because I tend to think, you know, sometimes maybe you have to lean on it. If she caused us problems before, if she lied or done something in the past, so this is an isolated case, maybe she did. She seems to know a lot of names and different things, and I saw that.
Yeah, I just think there's some inaccurate information in there, I just
Well,
think,
it might be-
I think she got caught trying to, and, yeah, it is what it is.
Maybe she battled, you know.
Your fee exists for,
battled
your fee
something.
exists for a reason.
Well, yeah, I think you should have another conversation with her. I haven't heard anything yet that says we should waive the fee.
No problem.
Okay? Resolutions, Ed? We'll put the resolutions on your side now.
Okay, this is on the LASR for the Louis Vuitton. I was
Louis Vuitton.
not at the hearing, so just an approval of what they presented. I have a resolution approving a major adjustment to an approved localized area sign regulation plan located in the Kenwood Special Public Interest District and dispensing with the second
Motion.
reading.
Motion, do we have a second? Second, discussion? Mr. Miller?
Mr. Connor?
Aye.
Mr. LaBarbera?
Aye.
Mr. Whedon?
You have a second one, is that correct?
I do, and I don't know if you want to explain this, Tom, or I will, but there is a bill in the legislature, as you know, the county and all of the townships are locked in battle with the city of Cincinnati over their pricing rates for the water that is provided to the townships. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the current multiplier that the city of Cincinnati uses, that they charge municipalities 1.25. They have proposed, and it has right now been enjoined by the court, to charge townships 1.43 as a multiplier. The legislature, there is a bill that's been introduced in the legislature, House Bill 602, which is referred to as the Clean Water Fair Pricing Act, would state that if any water system receives any assistance from the state of Ohio, such as Public Works, Ohio Public Works money, or Ohio Water Development Authority funds, then they would have to treat their customers more fairly. Number one, they couldn't charge an outside community more than any other outside community. In other words, if they're charging the municipalities 1.25, they would have to charge everybody 1.25. The other thing that it does is, in a lot of instances, and I personally ran into this up in Deerfield Township, that the city of Mason would not allow anyone outside of the city of Mason to connect to their water supply, so they were requiring annexations, which was basically causing the township all kinds of problems because they were getting their commercial tax base. This would, again, if the municipality is receiving assistance from the state in their water system, they could not require annexation as a condition for connecting to the system. So it's a bill the Ohio Township Association has pushed. It has been introduced, and they have requested, the OTA has requested townships or anyone to support, give them a resolution supporting this, that they, and then send it to our legislators and President of the Senate and Speaker of the House. So I did prepare a resolution supporting House Bill 602, the Clean Water Fair Pricing Act.
Motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
We have a second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I think I had a conversation with Bill Seitz yesterday about this, and he has asked me to come testify when the legislature gets back in session after the election. So I plan to do that in November, probably.
We're good.
And I apologize for not getting this out ahead of time so that you could see it. It was kind of a last minute thing, and yesterday was kind of a
One of those
odd
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's no problem.
The gist of the resolution is the board fully and completely expresses its support for House Bill 602 and urges Ohio House Speaker Ryan Smith and Ohio Senate President Larry Obhoff and every member of the Ohio General Assembly to pass House Bill 602, and then urges all township residents and businesses to contact their state senator and state rep to express their support for the bill.
So, do you have a question?
Yeah, where do we stand locally? There's another.
So the next
report
hearing is
rolling?
October 1st, 9 a.m. Last week, we heard the judge at the hearing only heard one witness, Rothstein out of Chicago, and we ran out of time that day, so it begins again on October 1st. I think he allocated October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's October 1st at 2, October 2nd at 2, and then all day on the 3rd.
Okay. Any further discussion on the resolution?
Mr. Connor?
Aye.
Mr. Barber?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Upcoming public hearings.
You have the continuation of your Cincinnati Capital hearing tonight at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Purchase orders over 2,500.
Catch up. I have a couple for your consideration. One is for the Aileen Rents Company for festival tents, chairs, and tables, $6,201.91. The next 4, 5 are related to our new hires, which I think we're getting close, correct?
Yes.
We have Mobilecom for radios and miscellaneous communication items, $5,580. Phoenix Safety Outfitters, uniforms, $40,648.40. Albert's Men's Shop, Class A uniforms, $12,070. Vogel Pool Fire Equipment, these are scuba gear, face masks, etc., $3,320. We have Bethesda Healthcare Physical, $7,028. And 2 more for consideration. We have a blanket vendor for administration building supplies at $5,000, which is a budget item. Then we have Janice and Wyoming Railroad, Tracy?
Yes.
This is for railroad right of entry permit for $4,500 related to Sycamore Road, I believe.
Yes, that's the Sycamore Road project. You have to have a right of entry and a permit to do anything with the railroad at all, so we can't get across their area without a permit.
We have,
Is that a standard, is that fee like a basic fee, $4,000? Or they can adjust for anything?
No, they go up from there.
Yeah, it's
That's
supposed
about
to
as
be.
cheap as it gets.
I'll make a motion to approve.
can we have a motion to approve the POs?
Second.
Second, discussion. Mr. Miller?
Mr. LaBarber?
Aye.
Mr. Connor?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Schedule is on the printed agenda. Reminder that there is no meeting on Thursday night. I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session for purposes of property acquisition and also for pending
Motion.
litigation.
Quick question
Yes?
on the schedule. You have Columbus Day as a holiday.
Yes?
The office will be closed.
That's correct,
Yes.
yeah?
Okay, is that a federal holiday?
The state holiday.
State holiday? Okay, all right, thank you.
We have a motion to enter into executive session for property acquisition and pending litigation. Do we have a second?
We did something.
Um,
Mr. LaBarber?
Aye.
Mr. Connor?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?